Alright, so on the same day as the Nintendo Direct, we had a PlayStation show. And obviously, it's not out of character for me to want to talk about it. After all, I am wearing a PlayStation shirt, even if not one of these characters that was on this shirt was featured in the showcase. Sony, you're really fucking up here. But I wanted to do a video on this one as well, so let's just jump right in. Welcome back to I Want to Talk About, the series where I take a topic, I sit on camera, and I do the thing that I'm good at doing and blabber. And as I just mentioned, and as you can tell from the title, today, I want to talk about the PlayStation voice crack that I just had. I'm keeping that in. I don't fucking care. I just had a voice crack. That was really strange. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, and as you can tell from the title, today, I want to talk about the PlayStation State of Play for September 2023. This is the first PlayStation showcase that we've had since May when we had the big proper PlayStation showcase. Obviously, State of Play is not anywhere near as big as those, so I wasn't really expecting this to be that huge given that very few of these events are. Especially with the announcement beforehand that it would be focused largely on third-party and indie titles. It just kind of reinforced to me that yes, we're going to be getting a lighter show. At a point, I wasn't even expecting any first-party games, but we did get a few of them. I think, again, I was just hoping for a few decent third-party games, and I was begging for some good VR2 stuff because I have a VR2, but it's been kind of collecting dust because it feels like there's not a whole lot of crazy big exciting games. And ultimately the show largely met my mild expectations and turned out to be just okay. Watchable, but not amazing. Again, I have my notes here featuring everything that was shown off and announced at the show. I'm gonna run through them. This one might be a little bit quicker because there wasn't as much shown off as there was in the Nintendo Direct, but we're going to talk about it all the same, so let's jump in. The first thing that was shown off was a game called Baby Steps, a new title from the creators of Ape Out and Getting Over It. I spent the whole time this was shown asking, what the hell is this? It's a goofy idea that seems quirky and fun enough, being that it's kind of like a walking sim where you're learning how to walk, so the character's steps are like really gigantic, for example. But the demo did kind of go on pretty long, and it took me a while to really understand what the point of it was or what I was watching. It'll probably go on and carve out its own niche and be kind of fun, but for me it wasn't really anything that exciting. I'm sure it'll have more time to sell itself to me because it's not coming out until next summer, so hopefully by then it ends up looking really, really good. Even if it doesn't, I hope you guys are more excited than I am. And then they talked a little bit about Roblox. They really showed Roblox at a State of Play, specifically to announce that it's coming to the PlayStation 4, not 5, 4 on October 10th. And that's about as many words as I feel that Roblox needs to get. Moving on. We then got to see a few VR things, nothing too big, but we got to see Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord. Honestly, VR Ghostbusters sounds kind of fun. It looks exactly as I'd expect a VR Ghostbusters game to look, but it seems pretty charming, especially if you're a big fan of the series. Nothing really mind-blowing to me, but again, I personally need some VR2 games to play, so this could be something I look forward to. That said, it's coming out October 26th, so with everything else coming out in October, it might get swallowed up. I sure hope not. Then we got a ton of stuff about Resident Evil 4 Remake, the VR mode that's coming to the game, a Mercenaries update, and most notably to a lot of people, the Separate Ways DLC. The only thing in this that I don't care about is the Mercenaries content because I don't care for the Mercenaries mode. Otherwise, VR mode sounds awesome, and this seems like one of the few RE games I might actually be able to play in VR without feeling like I'm gonna shit myself. And having heard a lot about it, it seems like a lot of the fans are really happy that the Separate Ways DLC is coming to RE4 Remake, so I'm glad that they're finally getting that. Yeah, RE4 Remake is a great game, so it's nice to see that it's getting so much cool content. I mean, the VR mode is coming this winter, while the Separate Ways and Mercenaries update are coming out September 21st, which by the time this video is uploaded, there is a small chance that it could be out depending on how long I take. So if you're playing it now, I hope you end up enjoying it. Moving on from there, we gotta look at Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. God, I want this game to be good so bad. I have major trust issues with Ubisoft, but between this and Star Wars Outlaws, they might have something good on their hands if they actually treat massive entertainment right. Picky as I am with open world games, and I really am, I personally love the Avatar films. I think they're both amazing, and I just really want a good Avatar game. Like, the world of Pandora just seems perfect for a video game. So I want this game to be good so bad. And what was shown in the trailer looked incredible to me. I'm just praying it's not fake. With Ubisoft, you can never be sure, but damn, I really want this to be good. It's coming out December 7th, so it's going to be out a little bit after the glut of games that are coming out in around October. And yeah, this could end up being a fun little late year game. I really, really hope it turns out good. From there, we got to look at Ghostrunner 2. I talked about this in my last PlayStation Showcase video. As much as I didn't have the reflexes or the patience to handle the first game and its difficulty, I loved what it was doing, and this looks like it's going to be another great entry. They are really adding some neat, cool, unique stuff to make it even better than the first, hopefully. I love how fast-paced and fluid everything is, and I can see this going over pretty well. There is a demo out now, which I definitely have to try, and it's coming out October 26th. I really hope it doesn't get swallowed up in all the other October games, because even if it's not my kind of game, this looks really cool, and I want to see it be as successful, if not more successful, than the first one was. Between that, we got to see the PS5 Deep Earth Collection. This is just a new set of color variants for the PS5. Some red, blue, and silver designs with their own little metallic thing going on. There's not much I can say about these other than that they look pretty. I'm also glad that they are selling the cover variants by themselves instead of making you pay for a brand new console, and $60 for these covers isn't too bad. The red and blue variants are coming out November 3rd, the silver is coming out January 26th. I think the silver was the one that looked the coolest to me. I don't really plan to grab any of these, but they're cool if you're into them. And again, they look pretty, so hopefully they end up looking pretty when you do get your hands on them. As I said, we did get some first-party stuff, one of the two things being Helldivers 2. I talked about this in my last PlayStation Showcase video, and this time we got a more extended look at things. First things first, the scripted commentary was cringe. Why do developers and publishers insist on adding that kind of scripted commentary to these kind of things? As for the game, it just didn't really win me over. It feels like Sony just kind of wanted to prove that they're more than the over-the-shoulder, third-person, story-driven, emotional action game developer that everyone thinks they are. Maybe not everyone, but quite a few people. And that they can make something that doesn't remind you of The Last of Us in some way by making a multiplayer game, but ultimately it just seemed a little bit generic. I'm sure it's fun, and I'm sure fans of the first game are excited to play this, but for me, I just wasn't really moved. I will leave this in the hands of the people that are more interested. It's coming out February 8th. Hopefully that'll be a fun early year game for those of you that are interested in it. For me, when it comes to first-party Sony games, I'm setting my sights more on Spider-Man 2, which was shown next. Quite frankly, the game comes out in about a month. There's not much more Sony needed or needs to show me to convince me to play it. It's Spider-Man and it's Insomniac games. Of course I'm gonna play it. I love many of Insomniac's games and I love their Spider-Man games, so of course Spider-Man 2 is right up my alley. Obviously though, it's nice to see a little more footage of it. The game obviously looks amazing. It's one of my most anticipated games of this year. It has been since we began the year, and I'm so glad that we're finally close to its release. It's coming October 20th. That and Super Mario Bros. Wonder on the same day is going to be overstimulation, but it's also going to be heaven. I'm excited for both. From there, we got to take a look at Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn, the new story DLC for Tales of Arise. I tried to play this around when it first came out, but I didn't really fall for it too much, so this announcement kind of flew over my head. I didn't even know it was Tales of Arise until the actual Tales of Arise logo popped up at the end. I know a lot of people were pretty excited for it though, so I'm happy to see that. When it comes to announcements that don't interest me, my thing that I always think about is, well, what do the fans think? And it sounds like a lot of fans are pretty pumped for this one, so that's good, and it's good to see a game like this get a little more content. And it's coming out November 9th, so that happens to be after the giant glut in October. Hopefully that's something you guys end up enjoying when it does come along. And as we start to wind down, yeah, this was a really quick showcase. We then got to look at Honkai Star Rail. I feel like I've heard a lot about this game, but I barely knew what it was before it was shown here. I honestly had no idea it was made by MiHoYo, the Genshin Impact developers. I also had no idea until doing research for this video, but this is the first console release of the game, which is pretty cool. It's still not a game I'm that excited for because many turn-based games usually aren't in my style, outside of like Paper Mario and the more modern Pokemon games. And that combined with a gacha element doesn't really help, but being that this is its first console release, I am excited it's getting brought to more players. What's a little less exciting is that it's coming out October 11th. Jeez, if you want to play all the big games that are coming out this October, you better have a lot of money and a lot of free time, because it's becoming insane. I think October might explode if one more game gets added to its lineup. Then Square Enix took the floor to show off more of Foamstars. This was my low light from the PlayStation showcase, and yeah, I'm still not really moved by it, unfortunately. I think it's a clever concept, especially in how it reminds me of a game like Splatoon, and I would like to see more shooters that play like Splatoon, but there's not a whole lot for me to get excited about with this one. Being that it's multiplayer only really dampens my mood on it, and Square Enix already tends to have some trouble when it comes to live service games outside of Final Fantasy XIV, but that's more of the exception than the rule. So part of me is still going to be extremely skeptical of how they will handle this as a new IP live service game in a bloated market. It's a unique concept, and I hope it proves me wrong, but I'm just not confident, and I'm just not holding my breath that it's going to be great. Please prove me wrong. I love being wrong, but I don't really feel excited for it. As much as I want to be, I don't. There is an open beta that's going to run from September 29th to October 1st, and the full game is coming early 2024, so if you're interested, jump in, give it a try, and then we'll see how it goes from there. But thankfully, that was not all Square was here for, because they closed out the show with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Obviously, the big hitter of the show. I love Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It was actually also my first Final Fantasy game, believe it or not. So, of course, with how great Remake was, I'm super excited to see what they have in store for Rebirth. The gameplay obviously looks super fun. The gameplay of the first game was fun, so I'm sure it's just going to be even more fun. And it's crazy how much charming stuff is being added to this game. The cat mascot Kate Sith is so adorable. Cloud riding a fucking Segway made me genuinely laugh so hard for some reason. Having chocobo races seems cool as hell. Tifa. Just Tifa. That's all. Huh? What? Oh shit! Sorry, Tifa does that to me. I'm not surprised that this game looks so good given how good Remake was, but I'm happy all the same. It's coming out February 29th on 2 discs. They always have to remind us of that. And yeah, this is already one of my most anticipated games of next year. I'm very much looking forward to playing it when it does come out. Overall, yeah, this show was perfectly watchable, not that bad, but nothing that crazy. The high points were good, but there was definitely a lot of eh. And given how short it was, especially compared to the Nintendo Direct, I honestly hoped for more bangers. If nothing else, it was better than some state of plays that I've seen where it feels like Sony had no idea what constituted as a hype announcement, because at least there were some big games to look forward to. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, Spider-Man 2, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth all look great, but still, Sony's lack of first-party titles continues to worry me about their future lineup, and I still don't think they know what they're doing with the VR2. Recently, I believe they did release Firewall Ultra, or if they didn't release it recently, it is coming very, very soon. And with that out of the way, from what I have seen, Sony does not have one first-party VR2 title on the horizon. I get it. So it makes me wonder what the hell is going on. Why the hell would they release this $500+ machine if they're not going to put anything out on it? I just don't get it. Especially because they have some IPs that would be awesome in VR. But it seems like they really don't want to sell the thing. So I don't know what they're doing. And I feel like as much as I would think to myself, okay, cool, maybe some VR2 stuff is coming along. Nowadays, I just feel like if I see VR2 anything, I'm just terrified that it's just going to be completely less than substantial. I really hope Sony puts out some VR2 stuff that looks good. I don't know what to expect anymore. And I really hope that we get some more first-party titles soon, because it really feels like they don't have much right now. And I know they're working on some stuff, but their lineup is looking pretty thin. Ultimately, this wasn't a bad show, and given that it was focused on third-party games, I think it did its job. But overall, it was just kind of okay. If I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it like a C. I don't think it was terrible. Again, it was perfectly watchable. Just nothing I'm really, writing home about. It was fine enough. The big hitters did look pretty good, but yeah, it was pretty quiet and nondescript, I would say. Perfectly watchable, not exactly spectacular. But that's just my opinion on the state of play. What did you guys think about it? Did you love it way more than I did? Did you hate it way more than I did? Are you just completely indifferent toward it? What's the game you're most excited about seeing from the show? What's the game you're least excited about? Are you as hyped as I am for Spider-Man and Final Fantasy? Are you as unhype as I am about Foamstars? Whatever your thoughts and opinions are, leave them down in the comments below. Let's keep this civil and have some fun as we like to do. If you guys want to hit like and subscribe and support some of my other ventures that I have linked in the description, thank you. If not, it's no big deal. I totally understand. And right now my camera's battery is low and I am a bit tired from filming 2 videos, so the third video that I have planned is going to have to wait until tomorrow. Again, you guys probably won't know the difference because I'll be uploading them pretty close to one another. But yes, the next video that I'm going to be doing is the I want to talk about video on a certain album. I've been teasing this for a while and it's finally happening. Sorry I kept you guys waiting. I know quite a few of you guys have subscribed for music related videos and I finally have one for you guys. Right now, I just need a break. Either way, stay tuned for that, but until then, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.